Why do some people, Bishop, attract wealth while others struggle? Does it mean the space of wealth and riches plays the game of favorism?
Not really. It is written that the rich and the poor have something in common. God made them both. Not so. He did not make them so. He made humans. Humans decide their lives. Now, of course, you can look at it, for example, from different, maybe you had a parent that had gone ahead in life. So there's those little factors that tend to pioneer specific people to be ahead of others. But equally speaking, I know so many wealthy people that came from extremely poor background. Extremely poor background. That has nothing necessarily to do with the fact that, no one was there to help you. No. Opportunities happens to them all. The difference is this. The wealthy person looks to grow. 1,000 to a poor person is food. 1,000 to a rich person, or rather to a wealthy person, is a business. So these two people will never be at the same place, because all of it comes back to the mind, a mindset. What is your mind? If I give you money right now, what's your mind leading? Okay, let me ask a question. If you give an average pastor money, what do you expect him to do with it?
Buy things, buy instruments.
Good. What if you give a doctor same amount of money?
Yes,
what do you expect?
Maybe expand and open maybe a hospital.
Good.
Yes.
Same amount of money give to a businessman?
You'll expand the business.
Same amount of money give to a teacher?
Maybe spend.
Same amount of money give to a realtor?
Maybe we'll think of entering into business of real estate.
So you can tell the problem is not the flow. The problem is the action. It's never the flow. Because the same amount of money to a pastor looks like a speaker for crusade. Same amount of money to a doctor looks like a hospital. Same amount of money to an engineer looks like equipment. Same amount of money to a realtor looks like real estate. The problem is never the money. The problem is the mind. Because the money will always power the mind. The money is a slave to that mind. So it has nothing to do. Even if you take 1 billion, if you're poor in your mind, you're poor in your pocket. So the first thing we need to do is, how do we make our people rich? We make a person rich in his mind. Let the person, teach the person to accommodate wealth, so that when the wealth comes, he doesn't spend it on just what he thinks, but what he has mastered. So that's why some people, if you give them money on Friday, it's alcohol. Because that's where the mindset of their mind has been set, that anytime I get money, I have to drink. But I tell drunkards, you are very rich, you are actually richer than me, because I don't have money for drinking. I can't afford drinking. I can't. I cannot afford it. I try to look for money to go and drink, let's say. I can't afford it. Because the minute I hold money, Safe City has taken it.
It's waiting.
The minute you hold money, Zilomon Group of School is waiting. The minute you hold money, share the... So it's more of what your mind is rather than what your hand receives.
So can I say, Bishop, that the difference in response is the way the mind of the rich or the wealthy have been programmed, and the mind of the poor have been programmed, in that when the poor receive money, they think of spending.
Yep.
But the rich and the wealthy think of investing.
Actually, don't even say the rich, because the rich are close to the poor than they are to the wealthy. A rich person is close to poverty than he is close to wealth. Because to a rich man, they spend. And so in a short while, you will meet them poor. So a rich person, so that is the mindset between the poor and the wealthy. If you receive money and you think how money can leave you, you are poor, despite how rich you are. But if you receive money and think, even the Bible says he gives seed to the sower and bread to the eater. So God will never give an eater bread, an eater seed, because he will eat tomorrow. God always gives seed to the one that is willing to multiply. This is why Jesus took 2 fish and 5 loaves and did what? He ate them. No?
No.
But there are so many times, funny Jesus says today, that would have eaten. But you see, Jesus explains to you, he understands that these 2 fish and 5 loaves is not bread. In this state now, it is a seed. But after it has multiplied, the seed is bread. Because after they have eaten, the Bible says, and Jesus told them to do what? To gather. And they gathered how many leftovers? 12. So what was that? Seed.
Yes.
Do it again. And so the one that eats and the ones that sows are totally in different worlds. To the one that eats, any money he gets, he thinks about eating. Appetite, that's what I mean. Food, shelter, clothing. He will look for a house that is expensive than his pocket. And then he'll claim that it's faith. You understand that?
Yes.
But to the one that sows, everything looks like growth. To the one that eats, everything looks like food.
Wow.
The question is, where are you?